Hello everyone, back again with movie and tune recap. Today, I'm going to explain an American psychological horror film from 2024, titled Apartment 7A. Spoilers ahead, so watch out and take care. The movie opens in New York City, where a young aspiring dancer, Terry Giannoffrio from Nebraska, prepares for an upcoming performance. She and other dancers take the stage, but the performance goes wrong when Terry attempts a stunt and accidentally injures her ankle. The injury creates further challenges for Terry. She becomes reliant on painkillers and begins losing out on multiple job opportunities. She later auditions for a Broadway musical, The Pale Crook, directed by the renowned Alan Marchand. Recognized as the girl who fell, casting director Leo Watts intentionally makes her repeat a move that worsens her ankle injury, leading to the director's disappointment and departure. During the audition, Terry mentions that her family runs a slaughterhouse in Nebraska, where they process pigs. Alan then tries to humiliate her by asking her to behave like a pig. However, he becomes impressed when Terry refuses to comply and stands up for herself. Despite this, Terry is left devastated by her inability to secure any roles, and her friend and fellow dancer, Annie Leung, encourages her to step away from dancing temporarily until her ankle fully heals. Determined to appeal to Alan personally for a role, Terry follows him to the Bramford apartment building, where he resides. Inside the lobby, while speaking with the receptionist, Toby, she begins to hallucinate and feel dizzy due to the effects of her pain medication. She eventually stumbles outside, where she is caught by elderly residents Minnie and Roman Castvet, who take her up to their apartment to recover. That night, Terry experiences a nightmare about past events in her life before waking up. The next morning, she introduces herself to Minnie and Roman, and the elderly couple quickly befriends her. Terry apologizes for the trouble she caused the previous day, but Roman reassures her that it was no problem and that they were happy to help. Terry explains that she came to the Bramford apartment building to meet Alan. The couple begins to treat her like a daughter and takes her to an empty apartment they own, offering it to her as a place to stay. Terry initially refuses, saying she cannot afford the rent, but Minnie assures her that they will not charge her. She adds that Terry is not the first young woman they have helped, and though hesitant at first, Terry eventually accepts the offer. Since she is struggling to pay rent to Annie, Terry prepares to move into the Bramford apartment. However, Annie is not supportive of the decision, expressing concern about the couple since she does not know them. Terry dismisses her worries, insisting they are just elderly people seeking companionship. After gathering her belongings, Terry moves into her new apartment, and Toby helps her with her bag. While unpacking, she discovers a shoe that belonged to Joan Cebulski, the young woman whom the Castvets had previously taken in. When Minnie later visits, Terry shows her the shoe, and Minnie explains that the young woman ran away one night. Aware of Terry's desire to secure a role in his musical, the Castvets arrange for her to have drinks with Alan in his apartment. That night, after dressing attractively, Terry goes to Alan's apartment, where he welcomes her and they begin to talk. During their conversation about her difficult upbringing in Nebraska, Alan asks why she is so passionate about dancing. Terry explains that after her mother died in an accident when she was young, her father fell apart, and dancing became her escape. Whenever she danced, everything else disappeared. It was the only time she felt in control of her life, and she is willing to do anything to hold on to that feeling. As their conversation continues, Terry becomes impaired by drugs that Alan secretly puts into her drink. Drifting in and out of consciousness, she experiences a disturbing vision in which she performs in a small theater that turns into a satanic ritual.
Oh, it's fine to be a genius, of course.
The next morning, Terry wakes up in Alan's bed and assumes they had sex, unaware of what truly happened the night before. Alan then informs her that she has been given a role as a chorus dancer in his show. After rehearsal, the lead performer, Vera Clark, insults Terry, accusing her of sleeping with Alan to secure the role and criticizing her dancing ability. Later, while in the bathroom, Terry notices bruises and scratches all over her body, which leaves her shocked. When she returns to her apartment, Minnie invites her over and introduces her to another neighbor, Lily Gardenia. Having been told about Terry's injury, Lily gives her a homemade salve to apply to her ankle. That night, Terry has another nightmare in which she finds herself in a strange place and sees a demon in her room before waking up. The following morning, she realizes that her ankle has significantly improved and no longer hurts as it once did. At rehearsal, she performs exceptionally well, impressing the director, and with her ankle fully healed, Terry performs exceptionally well in rehearsals. During the Castevet's Christmas party, Minnie introduces her to several of their friends, including obstetrician Dr. Saperstein. At one point, Terry excuses herself and notices a group of people engaged in something unusual in another room. Later, she overhears Minnie and Lily arguing, but when she asks about it, Minnie dismisses it as nothing serious. The Castevets give Terry gifts, including a fur coat and a necklace containing tannis root, which Minnie claims will bring her good luck. Later, while spending time with her friend Annie, Terry suddenly has a disturbing vision of demonic hands emerging from the coat and cradling her stomach. One morning, Terry wakes up feeling unwell and vomits. She visits Dr. Saperstein and learns that she is pregnant. She confides in Annie, assuming that Alan is the father, but decides not to tell him yet, fearing it could affect her role in the show. Meanwhile, Vera makes a rude remark after overhearing their conversation, provoking Terry to nearly push her down the stairs. Later, in the laundry room, Terry experiences a sharp pain in her stomach and notices a washing machine door opening on its own. When she closes it, the machine suddenly starts, and she briefly sees what appears to be a dead baby inside, followed by a vision of a demon behind her. Earlier overhearing Terry mention the possibility of an abortion to Annie, Vera plays a cruel prank on her. Alan intervenes and forces Vera to clean up, but she leaves before finishing when the dancers are called to the stage. Alan then helps Terry clean up himself, and during this moment, Terry is surprised to realize that Alan already knows about her pregnancy, despite her efforts to keep it a secret due to concerns about her career. Terry returns to her apartment and finds the door open, with the Castevets inside her kitchen. She expresses frustration that news of her pregnancy has spread, but Roman insists they only shared it to help her. Minnie suggests that Terry should begin seeing Dr. Saperstein, but Terry admits she has not yet decided whether to keep the baby. The Castevets then show her a nursery and offer to raise the child in exchange for anything she desires. When Terry casually says she only wants to perform on stage, Minnie encourages her, saying she deserves to move beyond the chorus and become a star, something Terry agrees with. That night, Terry continues to experience nightmares involving a group of people performing a ritual. She later wakes to strange noises in her apartment and goes to investigate, only to find Lily Gardenia inside. Lily insists she must stop it before suddenly attacking Terry with a knife. Terry manages to hide, and during the chaos, someone slashes at Lily, causing her to suffer a heart attack. She is then taken away by paramedics. The following day, the Castevets visit Terry and inform her that Lily is now in a coma. When Terry recounts the previous night's events, Minnie dismisses her claims, suggesting she may have lost her mind. Suspicious, Terry investigates further and discovers that Lily had entered her apartment through a hidden passage in a shared wall. Terry sneaks into Lily's apartment, where she finds an occult book written in Latin, containing images of Satan impregnating a woman, along with the tannis root necklace given to her by the Castevets. She takes the book and leaves after hearing approaching footsteps. During the next rehearsal, Vera suddenly contorts into painful, unnatural positions, forcing her out of the performance. As a result, Terry takes her place as the new star of the show. Now the new star of the show, Terry receives help from Minnie in preparing her appearance for the upcoming event. During one of the performances, Terry notices Minnie seated in the audience, but when the show ends, Minnie has disappeared. Later, in the dressing room, Terry suddenly feels a sharp pain in her stomach and experiences a disturbing vision of her abdomen swollen, with something moving inside. Alarmed, she contacts Dr. Saperstein, who instructs her to pack a bag and come in immediately, suggesting she may be suffering from perinatal hysteria and should be admitted for her safety and that of the baby. Not long after, Minnie arrives at Terry's apartment and attempts to enter, but Terry secures the door with a chain lock. Minnie explains her reason for coming before eventually leaving. As her suspicions about the Castvets and her pregnancy intensify, Terry begins investigating the disappearance of her predecessor, Joan Cebulski. After finding Joan's name in an old playbill, she visits the theater, where the manager informs her that Joan left 6 months earlier. The stage manager allows Terry to access Joan's abandoned belongings, where she discovers a rosary and a Bible with Revelation 12 verse 9 underlined. When Terry holds the Bible, her hand burns, and seeking answers, Terry takes Lily's occult book to a church. There, she meets Sister Claire, who, noticing Terry's distress, warns her that the Bramford has secretly been home to a congregation of Satan worshippers for generations, and that the book Terry carries is their unholy scripture. Sister Claire further explains that Joan Cebulski was reportedly killed in a bus accident, though eyewitnesses claimed she was being chased beforehand. Horrified, Sister Claire realizes that Terry has taken Joan's place as the coven's chosen vessel to bear Satan's child. She warns Terry that if the child is born, it will bring disaster upon the world. Annie takes Terry to a back alley abortionist. However, before the procedure can begin, Terry suddenly and uncontrollably kicks the woman performing it. Moments later, the abortionist begins convulsing as if under a trance, prompting Terry to flee in shock. Afterward, Terry confides in Annie, expressing her belief that a conspiracy within the Bramford is responsible for what is happening to her, just as it was with Vera and Lily. Despite this, she insists on confronting the situation on her own. Upon returning to the Bramford, Terry notices Minnie heading somewhere and secretly follows her to a hidden sub-basement, the same location she has repeatedly seen in her nightmares. There, she discovers a concealed theater containing a black mass altar and various ritual tools. She soon encounters Alan and questions him about the place, and at that moment, Terry recalls the coven surrounding her there on the night she was violated by Satan. Alan reveals that she was the first to be touched by Satan, and when he begins to touch her, Terry reacts by stabbing him to death with an athame. Suddenly, a horned figure appears, forcing Terry to flee upstairs. However, the building's receptionist, Toby, locks her inside. Terry rushes back to her apartment and arms herself with a knife, only to find the Castvets already waiting for her. She confronts them, declaring that she knows what they did to Joan and that she wants no part in their actions. However, Minnie reminds her of the deal they made. In defiance, Terry declares the deal is off and threatens to stab herself in the stomach, but she is supernaturally prevented from doing so. Minnie and Roman then reveal that Satan is the father of her unborn child and that her son will change the world. Overwhelmed, Terry appears to accept Minnie's explanation that becoming the mother of the Antichrist is the destiny that will ultimately make her famous worldwide. The Castvets take Terry to their apartment, where she is welcomed by the coven. Minnie places the talisman back around Terry's neck, and Roman proclaims that God is dead, declaring the year as year 1. As the group joins together to hail Satan, Terry begins to dance before them. Her movements grow more intense as she drifts toward the window, and in a sudden, unexpected act, she leaps out, resulting in her death. As Terry's body lies on the sidewalk below, fellow Bramford residents Guy and Rosemary Woodhouse are seen speaking with a police officer. The film concludes with Minnie and Roman preparing to introduce themselves to the couple. Okay guys, that's all the recap about Apartment 7A from 2024. Thanks for watching, see you again in the next video.